really excited. We've got a great program for you. Hopefully you've got a little lunch nearby or a snack and you're comfortable and able to just relax and take it in. We will be taking questions and answers, so we encourage you to use the chat feature, the Q&A feature at the bottom to let us know what questions you might have for our panelists. And that's how today is going to go. We want to let you know, please take some screenshots. We've got social media going. Use the hashtag Launchbox, and you can find them at @LV Launchbox. So you'll see that right there on the screen, our social media for today. It'd be really fun if we can kind of get this trending and everybody that's participating, take a screenshot at some point and show the world that you're getting together and supporting women in business. All right, well, without further ado, I am going to introduce to you Dr. Tina Richardson. She is the Chancellor of Penn State Lehigh Valley and has been since 2015. I'll tell you what, Tina, it feels like it was just yesterday that we were being introduced to you as the Chancellor of Penn State Lehigh Valley, and here we are 5 years later. I can't believe it. She has a doctorate in counseling psychology and yet never makes you feel like you're being analyzed. And she's the founder of Launchbox Ladies. This has been her baby, and she has seen it through and engaged so many amazing women throughout our community over the last few years. So Dr. Richardson, welcome, and thank you for hosting us here today.
Thank you, Ashley. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining our first event in a 4-part series. Today, we're talking about how small businesses are navigating the new normal. We're all in this together, trying to figure out what the new normal will be. We've all had to adapt and to pivot every aspect of our life due to COVID-19. And we're here today to share with you what we are learning and to continue the Launchbox Ladies efforts to support women in their entrepreneurial endeavors. We were fortunate 3 years ago to create a powerful network of women who are encouraged and who are encouraging others to navigate challenge and change. And so we brought these educational programs to the students and the broader community, and especially to female entrepreneurs for nearly 3 years now. And our momentum keeps growing. When we started this idea, Ashley and I were together around the table with several others, and we had no idea that it would grow in the ways that it has. So I'm thrilled that we're continuing in a virtual format right now because we have to, but we look forward to a time when we'll be able to join each other again in person.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Tina. I appreciate that. And it is great to all be together here today. And I think that it'll be wonderful to hear from these panelists now. So I'd like to do a little introduction for those of you who may not know some of these ladies, although I bet most of you have heard of them in one form or another or follow them on social media. They certainly are all wonderful driving forces in our Lehigh Valley. So up first is my good friend, Elaine Zelker. You have seen her headshots everywhere. If you haven't had a headshot by Elaine Zelker, you are missing out. She is amazing. She has mastered the perfect headshot, and she's just super fun to film and shoot with. She also runs all kinds of classes on photography, branding, social media, and she does a lot of motivational mastermind classes. Many of you might have seen, she's put out several gratitude journals. She even has one for kids now. Came out perfect timing right before the pandemic started. She's amazing. She's a mother of 3. She teaches. She's a wife, she's a leader, she's a great friend, she's an author, she's got a beautiful, beautiful book out. She's a DIYer. She's one of those people, she's that friend you call and say, Elaine, do you have an idea for this, or can you help me figure this out, or what are you doing for this? She's been making masks by the hundreds, and on the side, when she's not doing all those other things, she is, I don't even know what the level is, Elaine, but it's like the highest, or one of the highest levels at Color Street. So if you've been wondering how to get your nails done during this time, you might want to check out Color Street, and Elaine can hook you up. So Elaine Zelker. All right, up next, our next panelist is Anne-Marie Sapinski. Anne Marie has a beautiful shop, women's apparel accessory shop in Bethlehem. She started this to give back to the community and to also really create a beautiful collection for sophisticated women. But Anne Marie does so much more. Besides having her finger on the pulse of fashion, knowing exactly what people want to wear and fitting us in the greatest, most comfortable, beautiful clothing, she is always doing something to give back to the community. If you have not stopped in AM Lux and seen what she's doing, you have not had an opportunity to buy beautiful things, but also give back. In addition, she's done some really incredible pivots. I saw her as one of the first women business owners and business owners in general to do a really quick, smart pivot during this time. So I can't wait to hear from her about that. So Anne Marie Sapinski, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And our last but not least panelist is Kind Zaw. Kind is the founder of Kinder Creations. If you don't know her shop, she has a beautiful shop. She's got homemade lip balms and soaps and all kinds of beautiful, safe things that do not use chemicals in Emmaus, Pennsylvania. But she also is an incredible woman in many other regards. She has her PhD in human security from the University of Tokyo. She's traveled as a humanitarian worker and researcher to over 30 countries. She is constantly working on ways to help women improve their lives by creating jobs, creating opportunities where they can turn passion into profit. She supports women all over the world. She has a following from all over the world. Her products are shipped from Emmaus, Pennsylvania to all over the world. And she's given a lot of women jobs and opportunities. So Kind, welcome.
Thank you, Ashley.
All right, so we want to jump right in. I want to ask you guys just briefly, I gave a little overview. Could you just give us a quick 30-second overview of what your business is and what it looked like 2 months ago? So we'll start with you, Elaine.
Okay, can everybody hear me okay?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so like Ashley said, I think she covered everything that I do. I coined myself the ampersand because I'm this and that and that and that, because I believe women, the sky's the limit and you can be and do whatever you want to do. So I am a headshot photographer. I'm sitting in my studio here at the Silk Mill in Easton. And I'm also a brand strategist. Like Ashley said, I teach classes for women entrepreneurs. I'm an author to a few different journals on Amazon right now. And I'm an executive director with Color Street, and I have about 270 women on my direct sales team. And we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, I had to, that's what I was doing before the COVID-19 kicked in. And it's nice to actually be back in my studio and enjoying the time here, but it's much nicer when I'm actually photographing people.
And it's really such a beautiful space, also the space you've got there. And I found that it's nice for us to sort of take a break if we can and change our environment a little bit. All right, well, Anne Marie, tell us a little bit about AM Lux and your life before COVID.
Okay, well, thank you. I would say life before COVID, I was very busy with every aspect of the business, and I love touching every aspect of the business. So from buying, where I would spend a good amount of time in New York City, to the merchandise coming in, setting it in the store, through the client experience. So if anyone's been at the shop, you know it's a totally engaging experience. So I was enjoying time in my shop with many fabulous women from the community, socializing, catching up, and making them look and feel great.
Awesome, perfect. All right, Kind, what about you?
It's so funny. Right before the COVID-19 lockdown, I was in Europe. I was finishing my 200-hour yin and yang yoga teacher training, and then it was such a beautiful experience. I was hoping that I could bring that experience, share it with our community in Emmaus in the Lehigh Valley, and then boom, this happened. And, you know, we haven't even actually had the official opening of our new store location in Emmaus, which I was hoping to send the invitations out, but everything was put on hold. So it was a lot to take in, you know, just trying to stay safe for myself, just trying to make sure that I wasn't the virus carrier, since I was coming back from Europe and all that. So it was a bit challenging for me.
Kind, tell me a little bit about your business and how you've been able to pivot a little bit during this time. Of course, you have a store that people can physically walk into, but you've been shipping your products for quite a long time. Tell me about how you've adjusted and adapted with your business right now.
So our store is mainly not just where we bring people together, but we also produce our products there. We have a really good kitchen there. So when this lockdown happened, our international sales have affected tremendously, since there are very few flights that fly out of the States. And also, post offices all over the world are in complete shutdown. So we have no idea where we could ship. But the amount of support that we got, especially from the locals in the Lehigh Valley, have been just incredibly wonderful. People, my friends, my supporters, my followers, they send messages, postcards, and just keep buying online. And it's such a wonderful feeling to see all this outpouring love and support coming in, even though they're dealing with their own problems. They're just showing so much love. So it's been really such a blessing in disguise during this period.
And it really is interesting to see how many people are being supportive during this time and finding creative ways to connect with one another. And I know, Anne-Marie, you've had this experience. Tell me a little bit about what you did to kind of box up and send your experience home to your customers.
Yes. When this all started, basically I spent time saying, what are the strengths that we have in this business, and how do we be creative and do them a little differently? And also some of the strengths were now challenges. So what I did is I created what's called AM Launchbox of Style. And what I do is connect with clients through Facebook, social media, phone calls, whatever we need to do. And in many cases, I already know what the client likes and the fit of items. And I will send them 5 items that I've chosen specifically for their lifestyle, ship them to their home. They are shipped for free. And then the client has the opportunity to try these on in the safety of their home. They will sometimes FaceTime me back, call me, text about fits. I've sent some videos of how to wear something that I may be wearing for them. And then they only keep the items that they love. And anything they don't love, they ship back to me, again, for free. And we then only purchase and pay for the items they love. What makes this unique and different is there are a lot of companies that are doing this, but this is it's a free service. There is no charge involved, there's no shipping involved, and there is, if you don't buy something, there's no charge around it. So it's a free service that's essential. And in many cases, I've just hand delivered them to clients' home because they live locally so that they can get them sooner.
Not to mention, it's really nice to have that personal touch, to know, who you are, where you are, what kind of product you've got, the care you're taking around it. I think it's been really inventive, and it's been fun to see people trying this stuff and then commenting on it as well. What about you, Elaine? Of course, this stopped you dead in your tracks with your photography business, but you do have a lot of other things going on. Tell us a little bit about kind of your pivot and where you've put your energy during this time.
Well, almost immediately, I don't know if many people know or not, but I'm an RN by trade. So I am a registered nurse, and going through something like this and not being able to be on the front lines. And, I jumped ship about 10 years ago, but I was doing some hospice nursing in between till about 2 years ago. But I have autoimmune diseases and stuff like that. So for me to go out in the front lines was not something possible for me right now. But because I'm a huge DIYer, I wound up making close to 400 masks for the Lehigh Valley. So I went into overdrive immediately. I was probably sewing anywhere between 6 and 8 hours a day, getting volunteers to bring me material, and most of it went to the St. Luke Network, to their nurses on the front line. And it was really cool being able to see their headshots wearing my mask, but at the same time, I needed it personally to get me through this, this pandemic, for my anxiety, things like this. I just still always felt like I needed to give back. I also do little things for the kids in the neighborhood. I color rocks for them, and I paint them, and I leave them on my curb, and I see them going by, and if there's nothing there, I feel horrible because they're looking for them daily. So every time they drive by, I try to sneak out some rocks, and it's something that they're going to look forward to. And I can truly see that in 20 years from now, I'm going to be that lady down the street that made them smile and gave them little rocks when they were riding their bikes around the neighborhood. So I'm constantly giving back, and to make income, because obviously I wasn't bringing it in from the photography, I was starting to promote my new journal for kids called the Daily Express, which came out at a perfect time. I didn't get the launch that I wanted to, but I'll probably relaunch it in the fall. But a perfect time for kids to write down their feelings, their gratitude, their goals, how to give back to their community. So that hopped onto Amazon. And I'm still continuing with my direct sales, which is Color Street, little nail polish, 100% dry nail polish strips, which quite honestly, right now, women need it in a big way. We are blessed because our company is still open in Clifton, New Jersey. We had double the amount of people enroll in April, but half the amount of staff in the warehouse. So we're struggling a little bit, but we're getting those orders out there because women need something that's fast, easy, and they can do themselves to feel good about themselves, even if it's just doing their nails right now. And I'm happy to be able to still give that to them.
Amazing. Yeah, it's so great. Amazing how when you can't get that manicure, how quickly you become an adopter of Color Street, right? And everybody can use them. Kids love them, adults love it. It's great. I want to remind everybody, we've had some people join, that you guys can use the hashtag Launchbox, and you can follow along on social media. Please take some screenshots. We want to know that there will be a Q&A session. So you'll see at the bottom of your screen a little Q&A box. If you've got questions for our panelists, please type those in. We'd love to make this engaging. We do have a few more questions we'll run through, but we want to encourage you as you think of things to participate. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the concept of challenges and opportunities. I think often when we get into a place where we are faced with a challenge, we have a chance to say, okay, this is a challenge and I'm going to get down about it or be negative or just kind of get paralyzed. Or we can look at it and say, okay, what's the opportunity? What's the flip side of that? So I'd love to ask you all sort of about the challenges you faced and what was the journey you took to finding the opportunity? I think as entrepreneurs and as women, we tend to do that hopefully a lot, but it's not without struggle. I'm not to suggest that it hasn't been difficult. So if you could share with us a little bit about challenges and opportunities, whoever wants to jump in.
I will. I'll start right off the bat saying that I'm okay with this new normal right now. I'm not looking forward to going back to the old normal, how things were. I'm enjoying every minute of every day with my 3 daughters at home. And it's almost like one side, I'm like, I can't believe they're home. They shouldn't be. I have 2 daughters in college. One just graduated pretty much yesterday from University of Maryland. The other one goes to Drexel. She's home. And the other one's a 10th grader in high school. So I have 3 beautiful women at home with me. And the challenge in the beginning was trying to figure out internet and how we're going to just live life. And I sat back for a few weeks, just let it be. We don't know what was going to happen, but now we're all hyper focused. And, you know, my daughters and I, they're big DIYers like me and these little entrepreneurs. We're going to start our own little business on the side, which will be coming out soon. Ashley's going to be like, are you doing something else? I'm crazy, but I am. So, but I'm doing it with my daughters and they're knowing that this new normal is okay, that anything is possible. And now is the time to try something. Now is the time that you want to create this passive residual income now, not just because we have to right now, but create something that will sustain you 8 months down the line, 2 years down the line, not just because we're in a pandemic. Create and do something that you've always wanted to do and even think outside the box. Now's the time to do it and go for it. You're going to have plenty of support around waiting, you know, for you to make these leaps. So I'm enjoying that time now.
Yeah, well, I know that you and I have spoken about that, and I feel very similarly. I think people were a little bit surprised because I'm pretty extroverted, and I think people see me out and about a lot in events and things like that. But I find that this has been a really great opportunity to focus on other things and to kind of take the time and reinvent a little bit and think about what's important to you. But also, like you said, to try things. And this right here, just trying a different format and thinking, how can we do Launchbox? How can we communicate as women to each other? Kai, you mentioned the community, and you do have such an outpouring. First of all, you're very easy to love. So that you're just, you exude warmth and kindness wherever you go, even through a computer screen. So tell me a little bit about what your challenges have been, but what the opportunities you found, because you did mention about that support you've seen from the community.
Well, thank you so much, Ashley. Well, the challenges start with the perishable nature of the products that we produce. But this challenge also brought me to thinking, you know, going forward, how can I incorporate more, you know, herbs in the recipes that I've been introducing to our customers? And my son and I, we make lip cares, and we've been distributing it to all essential workers. I signed up for Meals on Wheels, so he came with me. So we start seeing these challenges that we have, like, you know, these travel restrictions and all that. But in the meantime, we start seeing them as, what can we do when we are faced with a challenge? So my son and I are also introducing Mommy and Me yoga classes. And we now have over 1,800 members from all over the world, where we share our home retreat ideas. And going forward, what if we are in this lockdown for, you know, an extended period of time? What if we cannot make, you know, regular incomes like we used to? What are we going to do? So we share these, exchange these ideas, and we're so surprised that so many moms from different cultures have like really amazing ideas that they can start businesses from just living in their own living room. So, you know, maybe down the road we might write a book, you know, and encourage every single person to do something and start their own businesses from just, you know, staying at home with your families, and, you know, just divert these challenges into opportunities. So that's the community support, because we don't see anybody. We can't hug anybody, but we're sending out virtual hugs every single day from this network that we've established during this past 5 weeks of staying at home. So far, that's how we're you know, tackling these challenges, and that the community support has been tremendous.
And I love that you have your son, and he's what, 6?
He's 6, yes.
And you have him do everything with you. He learns your products, he volunteers. And I think it's such a wonderful example of us not to underestimate children and the role they can play in all aspects of our life. And I often remember back when I was a kid, I used to go in with my mom, who was in marketing at the time. And our days off used to be sitting at a big conference table, stuffing marketing materials. And we complained the whole way, I'm not going to lie, but I look back now and think there are probably a million things I learned from that experience. And it was because she didn't think that I was too young at 7 or 8 or 9 to do that. So it's kind of cool you have him participate so much with you.
He's my best friend.
He's the cutest too. Anne-Marie, what about you? I know community is such a huge part of your business model, always has been. You do all kinds of give back days, and proceeds of your purchases going to different nonprofits. You host different groups. So tell us a little bit about what your challenges have been and what you found to be the opportunity through this.
I would say the greatest challenge actually was a personal one for me, because to your point, I am such an extrovert. I'm so much about the relationship. So for me, it was really hard just not seeing my friends and my clients every day. And so one of the things that when I opened, I always wanted to have a business that we focused on business as unusual. And what that meant was that you couldn't find when you came to my shop, you weren't going to find this elsewhere. And the feel and what we did with it and all of that. So I went back to that and said, okay, so for example, almost all of my business is about an in-store experience, very little online sales. So that was a huge opportunity for me to say, now how will I do this differently? Another thing is that I bring new items into the shop every week to 10 days. And so I have people who come in my shop every week saying, okay, take me on a tour of what are the few new items. And then, as we mentioned, I'm in a business where it's all about the size and the fit. So the way we did a pivot was, first of all, I went from what were photos I would often put on social media to a minute video of me wearing the item. And it was, here's how it fits. And here's what my body type is like, and here's the size I'm wearing. And so we got a lot of traction and engagement from clients saying, well, okay, great, I want it. What size would I be? Another thing we did was really, I started taking what were items in the shop, because as a business owner, I also need to make a decision to stop new deliveries. We don't want inventory sitting in the store when we can't sell it to everyone. So I started doing some segments of how do we take what is an AM Luxe item from last year or last season. So I went to my closet, knew exactly what a lot of my clients loved, and then we added one new piece to it. And that was always my philosophy, to how do you add an additional item to your current wardrobe for clients, and we did that. So those things helped me continue to stay engaged with the clients. And then this box of style has been just really great for clients to, no hassle, no concern, try this on, and then continue to engage with them and get feedback once they receive the package. So I think all of those things help me to stay connected. And honestly, I'm probably getting more out of this than the clients are at this point, to keep me sane, because I'm not, I love being at the shop. I'm not used to being at home. And my husband goes to work every day and would like to be at home, and I would do anything to be back out 7 days a week. So it's been an interesting dynamic, and we've learned a lot from it.
Well, you guys mentioned what you've learned, and I think that this has been the old expression that necessity is the mother of invention, right? There have been so many things I've looked at and said, and I'll take these webinars as a perfect example. I know there's some boards and committees and things I'm on where we said, well, now we have to do it via Zoom. I've sort of been saying for about a year and a half, why can't we meet via Zoom? So I think it's great because it's saying, hey, we've had better engagement, more people showing up. We have 73 participants on this call right now. That's a pretty good number. That we'd be really psyched to have that at a luncheon. So it's thrilling to see how we can transition and pivot at this time. I want to ask you guys one last group question, and then I see that we've got some questions popping up. So audience, keep them coming. And you guys started to touch on this, but where do you see the future? What things will you take from this that won't change? What will not go back? What have you learned that I think is going to stick with you? And whoever wants to jump in.
I think, can you hear me?
Yep.
I thought I muted myself earlier. People still need contact, no matter how it is, whether it's like this, if it's in person, if it's from a distance, we need that human contact. I know for me personally, people are still asking for headshots left and right. And, for the safety, and I'm a non-essential business. I'm hoping to maybe late June into July, I'll start booking them again and make sure everything's safe for them, especially for headshots. People need new jobs. They need things for LinkedIn, branding images. If they're starting new businesses, they're going to need a lot of, photos to get through that. I'm also growing my team. So, having people use this time now while they're quote in quarantine to build their base, to build their business, and then they can explode. I've been using Zoom for 2-3 years now, teaching classes online. So for me, I reach out to people all around the world anyway to help teach and brand and, do the marketing and stuff like that. And so I look forward to continuing to do this. Now more people will get it and, and understand it and hop on with no problem. So, but yeah, so I'm looking forward to it.
How many people are now comfortable with this concept. And I also think that you mentioned something about teaching and training, and that's something for us, at ASR Media, one of the things we've tried to utilize during this time is teaching and training. Mm-hmm. Who could learn a different skill? Who isn't really proficient at a particular piece of equipment or a particular type of filming or editing? We started lunch and learns internal in our own business, where twice a week we were doing lunch and learns. One, we use LinkedIn Learning. If everybody has not heard of that, LinkedIn Learning is awesome. They have thousands and thousands of classes you can take on anything you want. And then we've been doing one where someone on the team member teaches the rest of the team. So they say, I think I'm the best at this, and I'm going to teach the rest of you, which has been great. It's been great professional development skills. It's been great teaching and training for each other on the team. So I love the opportunity it's provided to say, how can we all kind of get better, even if we're not working full tilt at what we were doing before? So, Kine or Anne-Marie, what about you guys? What's something that won't change? What's something you take? Anne-Marie, you mentioned your videos.
Yeah, I will continue to do that. I've learned, I knew this, but I think what will never change is I have an incredibly loyal client base. So loyalty is the heart of our business. And I think we've all talked a little bit about that today. So that loyalty with clients, and also loyalty and partnership with, in my case, the downtown businesses. I've been very fortunate to build these relationships with restaurants, so they are open. One of the things we're able to do is offer gift cards with the client's meal for Mother's Day. So from local restaurants, those partnerships. So I will just continue to build those with my clients and with the community. And, I think the other thing is we've said, we are going to need to feel how will we do this differently? So things like the box of style will continue. Elaine mentioned this. women want to look good and feel good. And so I look forward to being able to continue to do that in a way at AM Lux that we do it. So that will not change. We'll do it in a safe way. We'll do it with social distancing and all of the appropriate things, but it will be about continuing to make women feel and look great.
Awesome. Well, we're excited to see that. And so you've come up with some great stuff, and I think it'll be fun to see that continue, and hopefully, of course, have the shop open. And you, once you're allowed, you definitely can provide good social distancing within your store and controlled environments. I think that's great. What about you, Kind? You moved your shop right before this happened. You've got a lot of, I think, unpacking and organizing and unveiling to do. So I know that we've got some stuff to come from you, but what will you take from this that probably won't change or that'll influence the way you do business going forward?
I would say gifting. I started including personal notes, really heartfelt thanks to all the customers that have been, supporting and loving our products from day one. And I really hope that we can continue to do that, and not just by giving promotions and discounts and coupons, but really gifting something that they would like. So I started creating like custom orders, like, hey, my son has this special skin problem for this period right now. Can you take this ingredient out of this cream that we've been using it, and can you use something else? So I accept these personal requests, and I would personalize their own creams or soaps or any skincare product that they would like a lip balm that they love with the different flavor that we haven't produced. So something like that. It's not on big scale, but I'd like to continue to do that just to show how much we appreciate their presence in our life. Like me and my son, we always talk about, my son wants to create broccoli creams for kids that love broccoli like him, or kids that hate broccoli. I mean, I've never even thought about a broccoli as a body cream, but hey, why not? It's packed with vitamin C, right? So things like that. We're exploring these ideas, but we're also including his handwritten notes to his teachers, things like that. So that's something that I hope that will not change, and that's something that we want to incorporate going forward when we open the doors again.
I think what I hear from all of you, and certainly knowing what enormous hearts you have. Of course, you're brilliant businesswomen, but you really are caring individuals as well. And I think we can see that that's what's reflecting in your business. You've taken the time to continue that personal relationship and that client connection. And ultimately, that's the most important thing in any business, isn't it? I mean, it's really what we all concentrate on. And the idea for making time for more personalized notes or personalized conversations and just reaching out, how are people doing? Not necessarily looking for the sale, but maintaining that connection that you've had with your clients over time. All right, I want to get to some conversations and some questions from our audience. Of course, we've got the wonderful Rita Guthrie out there. Hi, Rita. We all love you. She's saying all kinds of wonderful things. So I just want to say she always loved hearing from successful, encouraging businesswomen like all of us. What a treat this has been. So thank you, Rita. Elaine, we have a question for you from an anonymous attendee. She loves that you have so many various entrepreneurial interests. Do you have a strategy to try to connect your different businesses to each other through a larger brand or with your personal brand, or do you allow them to each be a standalone? That's a great question.
So one of the first things I teach when I used to do my branding classes is I encourage women to create their own entity. So I am now ElaineZelker.com. I am my own walking brand. So I am able to have all these different entities under me. So photography is a part of me. My DIY is a huge part of me. The authoring of Gratitude Journal, Color Street, they're all a part of me. And when I figured out what my mission was, and that's what I help women understand and teach them how to create their own mission, was to empower as many women as I could to use their gifts and talents to rise and soar. So with that mission, I apply that to all of my entities, whether it's having a team of selling nail polish and helping them create their businesses, encouraging gratitude, growth, and goals with children and adults by, doing their journaling, the DIY videos I'm on YouTube, teaching women to use their gifts and talents, and especially photography, that I'm able to pull that out of people to empower them by using their, and making them feel good about themselves. So I think everything I do incorporates all of that.
And that was actually from Shannon Varco. So hi, Shannon. She sent a message later. She didn't mean to be anonymous. But I want to also comment on that, Shannon, because that's something, you know, we've worked hard at with ASR Media, the Peak TV, Ashley Russo as a brand and what it means. And I think what it really drills down to is being very clear about your why, being intentional about why you do what you do. Your brand or product becomes almost just an extension of that. But if the why is the core and the strength, your other pieces will push off of that. So if you listen to Elaine, while these things sound unrelated, her why never changes. And if you talk to Anne-Marie and Kine and you hear what they're saying, their why is what's strong. It's the core of who they are. So getting clear on that. Simon Sinek has a great book called Start With Why. I haven't read it, but it really helps you get clear on that. So that's sort of my comment on that. All right, we've got Julie Knight. Julie is also, hi Julie, she's gonna be hosting one of these coming up.
Hi,
We've got a few more planned and we've got some women in professional services and Julie will be hosting that. So we're excited for that. Thank you for coming today. All right, Julie has said, all of you have generously supported the Perfect Fit in Allentown with donations in past years. As our committee is planning the 20th anniversary on October 16th, they're thinking of how to raise money while being considerate of small business impact because of the virus. So how do you suggest we and other nonprofits help you as small businesses in this challenging time, at the same time trying to raise money for a cause? Great question, because often small businesses are asked to donate to nonprofits who certainly need the funds, and then people buy those items and the money goes to the nonprofit. And people are talking a lot about that model, and is that still appropriate? So Kine or Anne-Marie, how do you guys feel about the donations portion of this, and what would you recommend?
I would, I think it's a great question about the balance. And, you know, I think when I think about this, it's similar to when my shop closed. I was challenged on how do I continue to stay connected, but I sell clothing. I'm not selling something essential. And how do you keep that balance for people? And so, you know, as a small business owner, I want to continue to be involved, and it has been the core of success I've had doing that. So I think it's, for me, there's always the relationship. So what can I do to support the charity, but then what can the charity do to drive clients that are, you know, to me? So how do we build the relationship on both sides? Because the success of it for both of us is, you know, and Julie happens to be one of my clients and she's awesome. And so how do we continue to build it so that the small business can drive some revenue, and then we can also continue to give back? The other thing is, I think, the timing of it. So if you start reaching out to me now, I'm not open. There's so much uncertainty. I don't know what the future brings, but I think, you know, as we get open, hopefully in June, the timing of it then within, you know, 30, 60 days gives me a much better idea of what I can continue to do. And I will continue to do it. I think when I first opened, I worked with an advisor who said, I know you, this is what you want to do. And I kept saying, I don't even know if I'm going to make any money. How do I do this? It doesn't matter how small the contribution is. It is huge in what it gives back to you.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that it's a nice, I always like the idea of gift certificates or discounts, because some of the name of the game of giving back to the business is getting people through your door, right? It's finding new customers. So if you can donate something small that also includes a discount or a gift card, you know, and that gets somebody through the door, it's an opportunity as a business to build a new relationship. So I don't know if everyone feels that way, but I generally think that that's a nice way to go, and it's a win-win for everyone involved. I see Elaine shaking her head, Kine. Yeah, I think this is a pretty generous crowd. So good. I'm going to ask a question now. Anne Lalique asked, what suggestions do you have for women who are new to working from home and how to manage time, family, work, and me time? That's a tough one, Anne. How about you, Kine? How are you managing this time?
I work very spontaneously. Actually, you know, I have my phone with me, and if I'm out in the nature, if I feel like I am drawn to write a message, a paragraph, or take a picture that speaks every emotion that I'm going through right now, I would post it. And somehow that gets so much interest from my ongoing supporters and new supporters as well. So I think it's when you feel like you can vibe with people the most And also you have to know the dynamic of who's supporting you. What is your mission with your business? How are you getting the message out? So every time I'm with my son, for me, that's me, mommy and me time. And every time I'm out in the nature, that's my time. But in the meantime, when I have an idea that is not necessarily going to be, supporting sales, but that I feel strongly called to share it, I share it. And eventually that turns into sale because people are connected to what I'm saying through that picture, through that moment. So for me, it's all interlinked. Every time you find yourself most happiest or most content is when you make the most profit. So find that time for yourself, whether it's through journaling or through taking pictures. I love taking pictures. I love being out in the nature. And for me, that's how I manage all the dynamics together. I don't know if that's,
well,
that's helpful.
I think it's different for everybody. One of the things, I work with a business coach, and she says we all have the same 168 hours in a week. How are you going to spend them? We all have the same 168 hours. For me, I know that I force myself up early and I get a workout in and I get some time to drink a cup of coffee and catch up on some things. Some people do journaling. I know, Elaine, you've got, time. I try to work family dinners in, and it's just kind of becomes something in my schedule. It becomes habit. I don't have small kids at home. I have teenagers. So I'm really fortunate during this time. They can self-manage a lot of their work. And for me, it's more making time to be with them, be present and not work all the time. We all love what we do. And that's always a gift. It's a blessing and a curse, right? We love what we do. Anybody else want to comment on that, working from home and the balance?
I'm pretty regimented like you, Ashley. I block time for certain things. Like when I was shooting, and I still pretty much do the same stuff now. I allot time in the morning, say I'm going to do marketing and strategy for photography from 8 to 10. And that's it. At 10 o'clock, I move on to Color Street from say 10 to 1. And I schedule meetings. And so I'm pretty regimented and sticking to that. I don't waste a lot of time. And we all do have the same 24 hours dead. Is something I preach too. That's a 24-hour clock. It's what you do with it. I don't waste a lot of time. But in this, I'm learning to give myself break times, and I'm enjoying those family dinners and sitting outside with the girls as they're doing their classroom work. I'm working. So we're still together, but yet still working at the same time. So I think block scheduling for me has always worked. And it's pretty full, and I'm always on, but yet I sleep soundly, and I can, say that, I know it works for me.
Great. Well, we have another question here. Is anybody dealing with supply chain interruption issues? Has that been something that's been a problem, and how are you dealing with that?
I'm not sure. From my end, I actually took the initiative to stop items. So I'm not sure if that's what the person's looking for. And that really just came from, I took a very aggressive approach right up front and said, you need to, this, I'm not open. And again, I think as you continue to network and build relationships, I was able to call every person that I work with, every brand, and say, you need to cancel March and April deliveries. And so there was that relationship, and I, had never done that before, but I was able to do that. And we've worked through, actually with one brand, the opportunity, they're selling from their website. And if my client goes using my link, I will get credit for the sales, which is amazing. So I took the aggressive approach of saying, I need to stop. So I haven't had issues with things not coming in. It was the opposite for me.
That's interesting.
I'm opposite. I actually stocked up big time, not for photography, but for the nails. Here's what the nails look like. And because production, I knew was going to slow down because they have half the manpower. So I teach the girls on my team, I want you to front load if you can. And this is a direct sale, so you don't have to buy stock, but now we do, because the production is kind of halted right now. But I was smart enough that I bought enough stock that I can still kind of do what you're doing. I'm very personal with the clients as far as, it's that more one-on-one that I'm able to have with them. Hey, I don't have this, but I have this. And it's that customer service I have tenfold now compared to what I did before. And sales have been through the roof. And thank God for that, because this is what's carrying our family right now. So it's working. So I front loaded. I did get a lot of stock.
We've got Rita mentions that everyone here is masters of staying focused on social media, and all the small business owners can learn so much from that model. Can each of you talk a little bit about the role that social media played prior to this and kind of how it's ramped up? I mean, all of you were very present, but I know, Amory, you mentioned switching from photos to more video. Certainly good for my business, but more people need video. But yeah, I just want to know what role and how have you maybe shifted, and how do you use social media? How do you stay on top of it? I think it's awesome, but it's also overwhelming, right? It's one more thing to do. So talk to us a little bit about what you do. Kind, what about you?
It is overwhelming. So I decided to cancel my personal social media pages. So I don't have Instagram or Facebook that's under my personal name. I only run the business pages, and I monitor with the help of an intern, because it became very overwhelming, especially during this period, because there's information and disinformation. And my family is 8,000 miles away. So sometimes they hear something from the US news, they would be like bombarding me with 10,000 questions. Are you safe? Are you this? Are you that? I'm like, stop watching all the news. We're safe, we're good, we're this. So it was a bit overwhelming, and I wasn't able to focus on what I need to focus with my production and business. And so, yeah, to use social media effectively, I decided to cut down anything that was personally distracting me. And I tried to have personal, texting with people that I know and I care about, instead of, I used to binge watch people stories on Facebook and Instagram. I don't do that anymore. If I want to inquire someone, I just text them directly or call them and say, hey, what's up? What are you doing? How are you? And that way I can now focus on like a story. If I want to promote a product, I can just write about that story, about that particular product, and just focus on that. And that gets more foot traffic on the post.
I think that's really good advice, because one of the things, if for those of you, maybe you get an iPhone, you get a weekly report that tells you how much time you spent on stuff. And at first the excuse is, oh, but it's for my business. But the reality is, I think when you cut out some of that on the personal side, that is sort of nonsense. One, I find it's very anxiety inducing to a lot of people. But you also have time for it. The other thing I just want to personally mention is I actually use professionals for this. This is a career. This is a business. There's a wonderful woman-owned business, Socialty Marketing and PR, and my good friend Tina Hasselbush, and it's her and she's got 3 wonderful women who work for her, and they do this. They manage social media. So I have 3 brands and something like 13 social media channels, and I have help. Yeah, I film a lot of the stuff and take the pictures. I try to keep up with my story. I think it's blank right now. But sometimes you have to outsource. You can't do everything yourself. I think part of this, someone mentioned how important is a business coach. That's a question on there. It's been essential for me. I've found it really helpful over the years. I do a lot of mentoring, and so somebody has to fill my bucket, and that's part of why I use that. But it also has taught me to play to my strengths and to cover my blind spots. And so I'm quite good with numbers and capable of accounting. I hate it. I mean, I hate it like in a passionate way. So I don't do it. I outsource my invoicing. I outsource my bookkeeping now. It's a small expense compared to what it frees up in my ability to grow my business. So that's sort of my 2 cents on that. Tina Richardson has a question for all of us, so I would love to get her question in there and hear from all of you. Based on what we've all shared so far, what advice would you give to students? A lot of students are thinking that college has been interrupted and replaced with online. What advice would you give them regarding the notion that college can be an entrepreneurial endeavor? And how can they use the pandemic to inspire innovation? Elaine, I'm going to start with you because you have 2 daughters in college and a high school student. Talk to us a little bit about what you are hearing and saying to your girls at this time.
So Emily is a junior at Drexel, so she's a marketing major. So she has literally been thinking outside the box. And my child took all of her bags of clothes that were sitting in the back of a car to go to a donation. And because they weren't accepting anymore, she brought them in. And the entrepreneur spirit that is probably in her blood, like it is in mine, she now opened a Poshmark site. So now she's selling them left and right. She's making money. She's always thinking outside the box to use even her college outlets, like through her sorority, or she works for something called GoPuff, where she's using social media to help grow her thing, but she's making money on it. So she's finding these creative ways now that she has a little bit more time to be able to use those skills and still be the little entrepreneur that she is. My other daughter, she literally just finished her last architecture class this past week, And like I said earlier, the four of us, all four of us, are going to be going into this endeavor, making something creative that we're going to be launching probably next week that we're doing together. So the entrepreneur spirit is still there, and I think they're using these platforms more to be able to, to focus on that and to put their ideas out there. So I don't think that's really gone away. If anything, they're doing more of it.
I love that. And Anne-Marie, what about you? How have you seen, you've got a lifetime of career and different projects, and we're talking about AM Lux, but what do you see as the way that innovation is being inspired? And what do you want to say to college students out there about, I often think it's very hard when you're 20 something to imagine 30 years later or whatever, but we have a lifetime and it's an evolution. It happens over time. What you think at 25 will not be the same at 40 or the same at, I imagine, 60. So I just don't know, like, what's your advice to these young people, young women coming or in school right now?
I would say most importantly, believe in what the talent and how exceptional you are. And I recently said to someone, they were like, what would you say to yourself at 25? And, just at times I think I held back and I was a little, I'm not sure. I didn't have the confidence in me. And so just believe in yourself and what you have to offer. Another thing that's been so helpful to me is I've been very fortunate to always have a mentor or an advisor. And you mentioned a coach, Ashley. And so that's really important. And I've had the opportunity to work with some college students at my shop who have done internships. And so that's the other thing, is where if you have a passion about something, try to connect with someone who can be a mentor or an advisor that can, really help you to see the soft side of that business versus the educational part. And I think both are essential. So that would be my advice.
That's great. That's great advice. And, Tina's talking about that college experience. And I would say the thing for students is the experience, whether it's in person or online, there are many, many soft skills you are learning by going to college that you really don't learn in any other environment. The idea of resolving conflict, of thinking through an idea, of communication with others, of follow through, of time management. These are all things that you need in the real world, no matter what you do. So I think this is still a critical piece of our development. It's maybe not for everyone, but I think that as all kinds of education, just like all businesses are evolving during this time, there's a lot of value in it, and you just have to look for the innovation, to look for the positivity. All right, we're going to start to wrap it up here. Kind, is there anything you wanted to offer to students? Any inspiration or words that maybe we want to tell them about?
Well, I would just say one thing. If you are already in college, that is such a privilege. Please continue to pursue that degree no matter what. I didn't know that having a PhD would get me this far. I had no idea when I was studying. I mean, my major was political economy. Here I am making soaps and creams, but now I'm also pursuing a life of a yoga teacher and a Reiki practitioner. You have no idea where life will take you. But then always imagine you as a little bird. No matter which branch you land on, which tree you land on, you never rely on the strength of that tree or the branch. You put your confidence in the wings that you have. And that education are going to be your wings. It will take you wherever you want to go. The travel budget that you want to set with that education, you'll be able to do that. So please pursue education if you have a chance, when you have a chance, because you will never regret it.
Well, Kind, I knew that you are passionate about education. I knew you'd give us a wonderful ending and great advice to the students out there. So thank you all for participating. I want to let everybody know it's really important that we support these ladies and their businesses. So AM Lux, you can find them at AM Lux Apparel on Facebook and AM Lux Apparel on Instagram. Kinder Creations is kinder.creations on Facebook and kinder.creations on Instagram. So please follow Kind. And then Elaine Zelker has Elaine Zelker Photography on Facebook and Elaine Zelker on Instagram. I think you'll learn a lot from following along their social media and their journeys. Please support their businesses. Certainly, I know that all of us would be open to additional questions, conversations. So please don't hesitate to reach out. We hope this has been good and supportive and entertaining and interesting to all of you today. So thanks for showing up. Tell your friends. We're going to do a couple more of these. I'm going to turn it over now to Annette Durnack. Annette has been doing business development for Launchbox, and she put all this together with her team. And so I just want to turn it over to Annette to give us some upcoming dates and speakers, and we can let everybody know what's next.
All right, thank you, Ashley. And I just want to say, wow, this was an amazing group of women, and I can't thank you enough for coming together. So on behalf of the Penn State Lehigh Valley Launchbox, I want to thank everyone for participating today. A special thank you to Ashley Russo and ASR Media for their sponsorship, and to our amazing panelists, Elaine, Kine, and Anne-Marie, thank you so much. And of course, to Dr. Richardson, our chancellor. She has been the inspiring force behind the formation of Launchbox Ladies. So thank you to her as well. And as we look ahead to what else is coming up for Launchbox Ladies, we hope you'll join us for the next sessions of the Navigating the New Normal series. So the upcoming one on May 27th with professional services will be showcasing Julie Knight from Janie Montgomery Scott, talking about financial services, as well as Vicki Dulé from BSI Corporate Benefits, Marie McConnell from Fitzpatrick, Lentz and Bubba Law Firm, and Lindsay Watson from FIA NYC Employment Services. So you'll hear from those amazing ladies talking about navigating the new normal in professional services. And then we have a great panel coming up on June 10th with more female entrepreneurs talking about healthcare and wellness. And then we'll wrap up the series with a focus on higher education, including several community leaders in that space. So with that, I want to thank you all for joining us. We're so happy to have you with us today. We hope you'll join the next sessions, and we look forward to a time when we can see you all again in person. So thank you and have a great day.